Hi, and welcome to episode 76 of the Noble Character Crafts podcast. My name is Amy, and I am coming to you from eastern Nebraska, where I live with my husband and our 5 children. Today is Friday, September 13th, 2019. This is a podcast all about my crafty life, and today I have knitting, crocheting, sewing, including quilting, and hand-dyed yarn to share with you all. A huge welcome to any new or returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you really enjoy this episode. You can find me online on Instagram and Etsy at Noble Character Crafts. And you can also get in contact with me through my email at noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. You can find links to all of the places that you can find me in the description box below, as well as the show notes for this episode. I am currently hosting a make-along over on Instagram. If you would like to join in, I would love to have you join us. It is called the Vintage Make-Along, and we are using the hashtag VintageMal. If you would like to post any pictures of your projects using a vintage pattern, it is for any craft that you would like to make as long as the pattern was published in 1999 or earlier. I am happy to welcome any whips, and you don't need to finish your projects. You just need to post a picture on Instagram and use the hashtag VintageMal in order to enter. It is running until the end of this month, and then I will be choosing some winners for some prizes, so I would absolutely love it if you would join in. I would love to see the projects that you're working on. I am going to start off with my works in progress today. The first one I have to share with you is in this beautiful bag that was made for me by Mary Ann of Rock Islander, and I absolutely love it. And in here is my contribution to the Vintage Make-Along. I am making the Fanfare cardigan, which is a vintage pattern from 1941 by Hand Knits by Beehive. I got a booklet of booklet of vintage patterns that this pattern is included in through Tangled Sundries on Etsy, and this was just included in that booklet. That it's just a ebook, and yeah, I'm really excited about this project. So I've already completed the back piece, and last time I recorded I was working on the left front piece. There is a progress keeper in the center here. That's where I was last time I recorded, so I was able to complete the left front piece. So this garment is knit from the bottom up in pieces and then seamed together. And I am now working on the right front piece. So it's just like the left, but you just obviously reverse the shaping. And I've just started working the armhole shaping here on this side. So I'm very, very happy with how this is coming along. I'm using my own hand-dyed yarn for this project, Noble Character Crafts yarn, on my gentle base, which is 100% non-superwash fine merino wool, in the colorway Humble, which is a light peach semi-solid. The ribbing is made using a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle, and then for the remainder of the body I am using a US 2 2.75 millimeter needle, and the gauge for this garment is 28 stitches to 4 inches. So once I complete this right front piece, I think I'm going to go ahead and block the 3 pieces that I've completed, seam them together, and see how the fit is. Hopefully it'll be okay. I am comparing this to another cardigan that I recently finished, and I like the fit of it, so I'm hoping that it will fit about the same as that one. I have adjusted the pattern quite a bit. The original pattern only comes with 3 sizes ranging from 33 inches to 37 inches in bust circumference, and I have a 38-inch bust circumference, and so I have increased the stitch count for, well, I didn't increase the stitch count for the back piece, but then when I started making the front pieces, I realized that if I had increased the stitch count like I did for the back piece, it was going to turn out too large compared to the sweater that I am trying to replicate. And so I am actually making the largest size provided in the pattern for the 2 front pieces. I am also eliminating the button band right now. In the original pattern, it calls for you to work the button band as you are making the 2 front pieces, but I eliminated that section and I'm going to add on the button band after I'm done. I think I will do that next. After I finish this right front piece, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the collar, the neckband, and the button band. I am also adjusting the neckband because in the original pattern it has a crocheted neckband that has this curly Q type of collar, which I don't like that as well. So I'm just planning on doing a 1x1 ribbed neckband. So anyway, I'm really happy with how this is coming along. I really, really love this lace stitch. It's so fun and easy, really. It's an 8-row repeat, and by this time, the entire back is done in this lace stitch. Both front pieces and the sleeves are all done in the same lace stitch. So anyway, I'm obviously very accustomed to it at this point, and it's working up so nicely. So I'm really enjoying it a lot. Yeah, so I think that's all for that project. It is a slow project. I've been working on it for a couple of months already, but that's okay. It's coming along nicely. It's a tight gauge and fingering weight, so it's all right. Last time I recorded, I shared with you 3 other projects that I wanted to start, and I have started all 3 of those projects. The first of which is a wall hanging that I'm going to be putting right behind me here on this wall space. And I am making a doily to hang in that space. I'm using a free pattern by Red Heart, and I actually found it on the Love Crafts website, but I'm sure it's also available on Red Heart's website. It is called the Affinity doily, and it is published by Red Heart, but there's also a designer, Kathryn A. White, is who designed this pattern. And it is originally designed to use crochet thread, but I am using DK weight yarn. I am using Knit Picks Cotlin in the ash colorway, which is a DK weight. It is 70% cotton and 30% linen, and this is in the ash colorway. And I also, of course, increased my hook size. I went up to an F 3.75 millimeter hook size for this project. And I like how that, basically I'm done crocheting the majority of the doily. So here it is. And I only worked a small portion of the actual pattern. Here's a picture of the original pattern, and I stopped right at the end of my fingertip there. So I only worked, so far I have only worked 15 rounds, and the original pattern has a total of 26 rounds. So once I got to this point, I was already at 19 inches in diameter. And this is a really nice stopping point as well, because at this point in the pattern, you actually cut your yarn and you need to reattach it in order to do the next round. And when I was looking to order a hoop online to fit this space, the biggest hoop that I could find was a 19-inch hoop, and I have been waiting for this to arrive. It just got here this morning, and so I'm so excited to attach my doily to this hoop, and then it will be ready to hang really soon. So my plan is to work the 16th round, which is just a single stitch, a single crochet stitch all the way around basically, and I'm going to attach this doily to the hoop as I work the single crochet around. That's my plan. I've never done anything like that before, so I'm hoping it works out well. I'm pretty confident that it will work out well, but I'm super excited about how this turned out. I didn't realize that it was going to turn out so big. Like, I thought I was going to be able to get more rounds completed before it was already this size, but I'm really, really happy with it. I think that I'm so happy that it finished out the way that it did, so that, you know, these points are, you know, it's just at a good finishing point right now, even though I haven't completed all those extra rounds. So when I finished crocheting this, I believe that I was at about 17 inches unblocked. And then I went ahead and blocked it out to 19 inches, which was perfect because it was able to open up all of the lace work really nicely. And now it's the right size to put into the hoop. So I'm so excited to work on that this upcoming weekend, and I'm hopeful that that will be done pretty soon. And yeah, I'm just really, really happy with this. It worked up so quickly. I believe that I was able to make this in about 3 days. So it worked up really quickly and it was so much fun. I've never made a doily quite like this before. I haven't done a lot of lacy work like this with crochet before. There were quite a few new stitches. These sections right here were quite new to me. You actually make these points and then you attach them together as you go along, and I just was really happy with how this turned out. I thought it was so much fun to make. So anyway, I'm really happy with that, and I think it's going to look beautiful on my wall right there. I'm really excited about that. And I posted this on Instagram and I said it looks so much like a spider's web, and this time of year we just see so many spiders outside, and I don't really like spiders, especially in the house, but I think they're fascinating, and I think it's so mesmerizing to watch a spider make a web. And we have several garden spiders this year, and several of the, just the big brown, I don't know what they're called, big brown spiders that make beautiful spider's webs. We call them Charlotte, those kind of spiders remind us of Charlotte's Web. And anyway, we've seen so many spiders making webs lately, and so that's what I keep thinking of, that this looks like a beautiful spider's web, and I like it. They can be creepy, but I think that they're amazing. It's just amazing that they are, crocheting these beautiful sculptures every day. They make a new one, and it's just incredible to watch. So anyway. Okay, my next work in progress is actually in a finished object that I have to share with you. I made this new project bag just yesterday. I was able to whip this up pretty quickly, and I'm so happy with it. I found this fabric at Walmart, and I thought it was so pretty and cute. And there's a couple of sayings: leaves are falling and autumn is calling. And then on this side, I have almost the whole saying. It says pumpkin spice and everything nice, but nice got cut off, but that's okay. Anyway, I wanted to have a fall themed bag to go along with the project that's in here because it's very fall themed as well. And like I said, I found this fabric and I just fell in love with it, and I paired it with this big gray and white gingham duck cloth, and it's lined with a gray and white chevron fabric. And I have my little label on there, Noble Character Crafts, and it has a nice handle here. And I do have some extra fabric, so I think I will go ahead and work up a few more of these bags and put them in my Etsy shop if any of you are interested. I don't know if I'll have the same fabric on the bottom. I know I have some, but I don't know if I'll have enough to match up with all of the fabric that I have for the top parts. But anyway, I may put a few of these in my shop, and I will post that on Instagram if I do end up making some more of these. So if you're interested, keep an eye out there, or you can just check out my Etsy shop, of course. Anyway, and here is my shawl project that I'm working on. I mentioned last time I recorded that I wanted to make the Metanoia shawl, which is a beautiful pattern by Devin Ventre of Knitty McPurly. And I was debating about what colors I was going to use last time I recorded, and I ended up showing some yarn from my shop that I wanted to share with you all, and I just really loved those colors together, and I decided to go with those fall themed colors that I had dyed up. So the three colors that I'm using are Vineyard. These are all Noble Character Crafts yarns, and they're all on my Pitter Patter base, which is a fingering weight 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So Vineyard is just a deep burgundy wine colored yarn. It's actually a little bit more purplish in tone than it's showing up on there. I don't know. This is showing up more like cranberry kind of, and it's more of a deep purpley tone than what is showing up. That's a little better maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. And I'm also using Living, which is the color that I dyed inspired by the Pantone 2019 color of the year, which is Living Coral. So This is also just it's a little bit too bright on camera. It's not quite so bright. It's more of a toned down, more pinky, I don't know, hard to describe, but that's better. Those colors are hard to portray on camera. And the third color I'm using is my new colorway called Plenty, and it is obviously variegated. It has some orangey butternut squash kind of undertones, and then it has on top painted bright oranges, golds, purples, burgundies, and I really love that one. And I have been working on this like crazy. I just have been so excited about it. It's worked up really quickly, and here it is so far. Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. This pattern is so much fun to work up, and I'm really loving these colors together. So it is made from the top down, and I just love these colors together. And the pattern is so fun because, as you can see, there's lots of different sections of striping, and then this is an eyelet section, and right now I'm into a beautiful horseshoe lace section, which I think is gorgeous. And I don't know if you can tell, but the way that this Plenty colorway worked up, I was pleasantly surprised with how it kind of faded. Can you see right here? It has more of the purple tones on both of these sides, and then it kind of fades towards the middle where there's more of the brighter orange colors, and I really love how that worked up. I think it's so fun. I have a little pumpkin pie progress keeper on here from Amanda of Little Bitty Delights, which I thought was fitting for this fall themed project. I am using the recommended needle size, which are US 5, 3.75 millimeter needles. All of the needles that I use are ChowGoo red lace. And yeah, I'm super, super happy with this. It's so much fun. I just love shawl knitting so much. I don't know. I do like wearing shawls a lot in the winter time, but I like making them so much. I just think they're so enjoyable that, you don't have to worry about the gauge, and I don't know what I like about them so much, but I just really love the different textures and patterns that you get to work into them, and playing with the different colors, and I just love shawl knitting so much. So anyway, obviously you can see that this has grown quite a bit already, and I've been loving working on it. So yeah, super happy with that project. And very happy with my new fall themed project bag as well. Makes me happy to have the project go into a bag that, it all coordinates. All right. My next work in progress is in this cute little project bag that I received from Susie of Tiny Toffee Designs. It's just this beautifully pieced bag with a paintbrush on it. And in here are the Heel-toe-dosey socks that I mentioned I wanted to make last time I recorded. This is a beautiful pattern by Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady Designs. And I have made quite a bit of progress on these as well, so I'm super happy with that. A little tangled up because I'm making them 2 at a time, which is my favorite way to make socks. And I am using Knit Picks Felici yarn in the colorway Witch's Brew for the main body here. So I believe I worked a total of 17 rows of 1x1 twisted ribbing as the pattern called for. The pattern calls for you to work 20 rows, but my stripes were just getting ready to change, so I just went ahead and started working the pattern when I got to this darker purple stripe. And this pattern is so enjoyable. Quite a few people are making this pattern, and I've heard many people say how fun it is. It's just a 2-row repeat, and it's easy to memorize, and I agree wholeheartedly with everybody else that's been raving about this pattern that it is so enjoyable. I decided to go ahead and work this chevron pattern on both the front and the back, which is different than the pattern. The pattern calls for you to work just a straight stockinette stitch on the back of the sock, but I really love patterned socks, and I wanted to continue the pattern on the back as well. And I made a pretty long leg, which is my preference. Oh, I cast on 64 stitches on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, which is the medium size of the pattern. And I did the recommended heel flap and gusset. I did switch the colorway to one of my own hand-dyed yarns. This is Noble Character Crafts on Pitter Patter, again, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon in the Friend colorway. So it's just a light purple with lots of different specks of fuchsia and purple, blue, green, burgundy. So there's lots of beautiful colors in there, and I thought that it was a fun contrast or coordinating color to go with this Felici yarn. The Felici yarn is also a 75-25, I believe. Yeah, 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. So yeah, I am currently working on the gusset decreases and really enjoying this project. So I really love those colors so much. I think they're working up so well together. So very happy with these, and yeah, such a fun pattern. I highly recommend it. All right, my last work in progress that I wanted to share with you for knitting is one of my Scrappy blankets that I'm working on. This is in a fairly new to me basket that I got from a thrift store in town. I don't remember which one, but I love going thrift shopping, and I always look for baskets. I actually just picked up 2 more this week when I went thrifting, and I'll show those to you in a little bit. But anyway, I thought this one was so fun with the little corn cobs making up the outside of the bag or basket. And in here I have my Excavation afghan, which is a free pattern by Jana Pihota. And I've been working on this for a long time. And my the way that I work this is whenever I finish a project using fingering weight yarn, if I have enough left over, I will add a stripe of that color into the afghan. So last time I showed this project to you, I was right here where this project keeper is marking. So I've been able to work a few more inches of this, and now it is pretty long. I measured it this morning, and what was it? I think it was at 40 inches across, and I think I want to get to about 48 inches across before I work the second piece. So once I finish this, it's just a large triangle right now. Once I finish this triangle, then I will make a second triangle and piece those 2 pieces together. So the idea is that you start on this end down here, you leave a long tail, then you work up and back again, and then you leave a long tail again at the end, and then you just leave these on your blanket as tassels, which I think is so fun. And yeah, the rows are pretty long right now, so it does take quite a bit of yarn I think it takes about 3 or 4 grams, I believe, right now to get across and back again. So I do need to have, not a lot, but a little bit of yarn left over from my project in order to add it to this project. I am using the recommended needle size for this project as well, which are US 2.75 millimeter needles. And I have this on, I don't know what this length of the cable is, but I believe it's the longest one that they offer. And it's still scrunched up on here right now. So it's a good sized project at this point. But I love it. I just love the way that looks with all those different stripes in there. And I love being able to look back and remember the different projects that I made using all these different yarns. So yeah, I really love this project, and I highly recommend the pattern because it's just so easy and fun. It would make a fun shawl too, I think. But I'm going to keep working on it until it is blanket sized. But who knows how long that will take me. Anyway, I love this project as well. Okay, on to quilting. I have a couple of quilting projects that are in the works. So if you have not tuned in before, I am a new quilter. I just finished my very first quilt a couple of weeks ago, and now I have started 2 more. So the first one I have in this huge basket. This is one of the 2 baskets that I picked up at a thrift store this week, and I really, really love this one. It's nice and big, and it was only like $3. And whenever I get a basket from a thrift store, I always give it a bath. I just throw it into my bathtub with some warm soapy water and let it soak for a little bit just to clean it, and that seems to do the job. The other basket that I got this week was this one, and I don't have a project in it yet, but I just love the shape and the design of this one. It's got some nice handles on it, and this one was only $2, so I just love going thrift shopping, and like I said, I always look for baskets because I just love using them for my projects. So in this basket, I am holding all of my scraps that I'm going to be using for the Little Miss Sawtooth Quilt Along that I am doing along with Southern Charm Quilts. The designer's name is Melanie Trailer, and it is a quilt along that is being hosted on Instagram, and Havel's Sewing is also sponsoring it. And so the first step of the quilt was released a week ago on Friday, and it was for us to make 60 flying geese pieces that we will use throughout the quilt. And this quilt along is running until January. They're going to be releasing clues every few weeks. So anyway, I was able to make all of the 60 flying geese pieces. And it is a scrappy quilt, so I was able to use pretty much all. I did buy a pack of 5 fat quarter pieces that for this quilt just because I love the fabrics in it, but otherwise I'm using all scrap pieces. So I'll just go through and show you the different combos that I have. So I guess maybe I can try to lay this out on me so you can kind of get an idea of how this works. So the quilt blocks will go like this. And then this one will go like this. There. Can you kind of get an idea of what the quilt block will look like? So anyway, those are the pieces that go around each of the quilt blocks. And then the middle, I think, is different for each of them. There's a different design for the middle of each of the blocks. But anyway, here is another set. Just flip through these really quickly. So you can kind of get an idea of the color scheme I'm going with. Like my last quilt, I'm going with kind of a lighter, springy, summery kind of colors, which as I said, I'm a new quilter, and so I don't have a ton of stash fabric, and so I was a little bit limited on, what I could use for my color palette, but I'm really happy with this. That one I just showed you and this one are part of the new fabric that I bought in that 5-pack, which I love these so much. This is another one. This one is included with that pack as well, and this was my favorite. I love that greeny gold color. Two more. This one and this one. And you make these 4 at a time. So there's 4 of each of them, and you make them all at one time. So she has a video tutorial that is linked in the quilt along if you sign up to join in, and it walks you through how to make all 4 of these pieces at once, and it's really simple, and it was fun to work up. It was really quick, actually. So maybe the longest part was cutting out all the pieces, which isn't my favorite step of quilting, just because I don't know, I'm nervous that I'm not going to do it right, and I'm probably not the fastest at it because, I don't know, I probably don't do things as efficiently as an experienced person would, of course. But anyway, it went well, and I'm happy with those pieces, and I have all the other stash fabric that I may or may not use in this basket. So since this is going to be a long-term project, like I said, the quilt along is going until January, I wanted to have a nice basket to be able to hold all the pieces in as I worked on it. And then the other quilt that I have started, I went to another quilting class at my local quilt shop in our small town, and that was last night, and I am making a pinwheel quilt. And last night in class, we worked on, I have pieces all over me, thread all over me. We worked on making the first block. So this is my first block. I'm really, really happy with it. It, of course, is not perfect. The little point in the middle isn't quite matched up, but that's okay. You can't really tell if you don't look too closely. And anyway, I am planning, the original quilt design is using 9 blocks this size, and it makes kind of a baby blanket slash throw size, but I'm actually going to be quadrupling the pattern, and I'm planning to make 36 of these blocks and make a king size quilt for my bed. So I know that that's a big daunting task, but that's what I really, really want, is to have a quilt for my bed, our bed. And I am so excited about this. So anyway, the main color is this gray color. There are going to be some blocks that have a lighter background, like every other one will have this, either this gray or a lighter, I have a lighter gray fabric that I'm going to use for the other pieces. And then I have 12 different colors of solid fabric and 12 different patterned or printed fabrics. And I'm going to make, I have enough to make 3 different blocks using those 3 different, so, you know, anyway, 12 different fabrics. I'm going to use those fabrics 3 times and kind of mix up the colors. And the color scheme that I'm going with is with the gray background, and then all of the middle colors are along a fall theme. So as you can see, I have tan and burgundy, I have some gold, some greens, I have a fabric that has leaves on it, I have a fabric that has some pumpkins on it. So I'm really excited for that. So I'll have kind of a fall themed bedspread for our bed, and then of course that means I'm gonna have to have a winter themed one and a spring themed one. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I'm super excited about this. I think that it's, I don't know, I was kind of trying to go for a color scheme that if I don't end up able to make another quilt for our bed by the time fall is over, that, you know, I could still use this one. But like I said, I do have some pumpkins in there, and it is kind of going to be pretty fall themed. It's not like extremely fall themed, but it definitely looks like a fall. It's definitely got fall colors in it. So anyway, but I'm just loving quilting so much. So at this point, I'm excited to be able to make other quilts for our bed and other quilts for our kids' beds, and the kids have already started talking about what they would like for their quilt. And so anyway, I really hope that I continue to love quilting, because at this point it's just making me so excited, and I hope that I continue to love it. A few of you have said that you think that I will, so I hope that's true. A few of you have commented that my excitement for quilting just shows that I'm going to continue to love it, and I hope that's true, because yeah, I really would love to be able to continue perfecting this craft. But anyway, this was so much fun to work up. Really a little bit more complicated than the first quilt that I made, but I think I'm going to be okay. There's very clear instructions that we were given in the class, and the instructor is really, really very patient and great to teach us in an easy to understand way. So I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to work this up. I've already started cutting out more of the pieces, and yeah, I think I'm gonna love this. So I can't wait to continue to work on more pieces, and I don't know, we'll see how quickly I can make this. Not that I'm in any rush, but the last quilt I made within a couple of weeks, and it was only like a throw sized quilt though, so obviously this one's going to take me a bit longer, but I'm super excited to work on it some more. I can't wait to make some more of these blocks and get the different color combos and mix and match the different fabrics. I think it's going to be so much fun. So So those are all of the projects that I have worked on since I recorded last. So I just have a set of yarn that I'd like to share with you all. Every time I record a podcast, I like to share a set of 3 yarns that I think would work well together in a project from my Etsy shop. And today I have this set of 3. And this includes another new colorway, which I'm very excited about. It is this one. It is called Trustworthy. And it has mostly black in it, as you can see. It's got a lot of black as the undertone. But it does have some areas that are not black. It is almost like a light gray. Really, those were not touched with dye. They just, the black just kind of meandered into that section a little bit. So it gave it kind of a grayish color. And then I speckled it with lots and lots of colors. So I love this section right here with the gold and red and pink. There's also some green in there. There's some purple colors, some blues. So it's just got lots of fun speckles in there, and I am really excited about this new colorway. And I paired it with one of my favorites, which is Gaze. This is just a nice bright pinkish purple semi-solid, and I just thought it matched so well with this section here. Although so many of the tonals in my shop look awesome with this colorway. There was so many options as I was playing with different colors. So many tonals would look awesome with this new Trustworthy. But I thought it'd be fun to also pair it with another colorful speckled option from my shop. This is Sings, and it's kind of like the opposite of Trustworthy in that it is basically just a very light base with all of those colors speckled in it as well. It has some charcoal gray in there as well, but then it's got navy blue and this nice mossy green, some bright oranges or salmon colored almost, some teal, gold, fuchsia, purple. So there's lots of fun colors in this one as well, and I just thought it looked fun with these other 2. But like I said, so many colors would match well with that new Trustworthy colorway. All of my yarn is available on all 9 of my bases in my Etsy shop at all times in any quantity that you might need for a project, and I love to work with customers to help you get the color scheme that you would like to have for any project that you're working on, and to even do custom colorways. I'm happy to do that. So don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions about the things that I offer in my shop. I would love to help you out. So we have had a great couple of weeks. We've had a lot of things going on. We had my husband's grandmother's 90th birthday party where I gifted her the Salcombe shawl that I had made for her, and she really, really loved it. She noticed right away that there was the colors were her colors, and I had included some gold stellina yarn in there as well, and she really loved that, and she said something like, "Oh, you know me well," or something like that. So she really seemed to enjoy that gift, so I was so happy with that. And let's see, we went to the Nebraska State Fair. That was really fun. I got to look at the quilt show that they had there, which was so inspiring and incredible. There were so many quilts on display there, and it was just so inspiring to look at all of those beautiful quilts. So I really enjoyed that, and the kids had a lot of fun at the state fair as well. Let's see, what else? We have celebrated several birthdays in our family. We had, I think last time we had already celebrated our 6-year-old turning 7. We also celebrated my birthday. I turned 40 years old last week. And then our youngest son turned 6 this week. And our oldest son is about to turn 11 next week. So we're busy with happy birthdays all over the place. But right now is kind of a fun time in our family. All of our kids' ages are right in order. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 years old right now. It only lasts for a little over a week until our oldest turns 1 more year older. But it's kind of fun when it's all in a line for a little bit. We have already decorated for fall. As you can see, we were kind of jumping the gun on getting our fall decorations up. But one day we were getting ready to start our schoolwork. I homeschool our children. And the kids said, "Mom, can we get the fall decorations out?" And I was like, "Sure, let's do that." So we got all of our fall decorations out, which I just love so much. So that's been fun to have up. I think that's all I have to share with you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy this podcast, I would really appreciate you giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to this channel if you would like. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.